Hello and welcome, everybody. Hello, my sweet little dumplings. I have commandeered the truck this week. I'm your host, Janichola. So you know I brought all the hoodlums in. We have Dan Reichert and Mike Minotti just jumping around in the back of the dump truck. It's just a bunch of broken guitars. I'm not going to let them say hello yet because we have our very, very special guest, the survivor of the Texas Chainsaw Death Match. I'm so glad to see you, sir. You have once again proved you were the best Jeff, any and everywhere. We have Jeff Jarrett, Double J himself. Hello, sir.
Jan, my man, were you impressed with that? The first, well, let me just classify it this way. That's the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match you've ever witnessed, correct?
Correct.
He stole my joke. Dang it.
Yep.
He had that one chambered and ready to go. That's one I've seen for sure.
And you knew going in that Jeff would win.
Oh, yeah.
Of course I knew that Jeff would win.
It was a slam dunk, right?
Yeah. We have
and
two
you
more.
knew that history was going to be made last night.
Definitely. We have.
I'm gonna take all of y'all's jokes off the table before we get started.
All right. Well, I guess thanks Jeff for joining us.
It's all back. So happy Thursday. I'm a little sore today, guys, but looking forward to this. And
such a pro being here, even after participating in the greatest Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match of all time. Thank you so much, Jeff.
It's a great joke, Mike.
Would have gotten started on time, but Jan was late. So
yeah,
all on him right out of the gate. So Jan, damn it, set your clock. We tell you 4 p.m. Eastern, that doesn't mean show up at 4 p.m. That means show up at 3:50.
Right.
I'm just trying to big time everyone. I apologize, Mr. Jarrett.
Thank you, sir.
For our safety, we've had to do this virtually. We've had to do this through Zoom because, Mr. Jarrett, you are breaking guitars over our peers in games media. Greg Miller, he hasn't been the same.
Wait a minute. I need to talk to my PR guy, Tom. And I don't know if you can chime in, but I had no idea that I'm dealing with. Does Greg actually even have a peer? That sounds like a word right out of the gate.
He's like a YouTuber. Like he's got a couple people that watch him, but no one takes him really seriously. He's a cowardly young man. Yes.
I could not agree more. Scum of the earth.
Yes.
Andy Kaufman, wannabe.
Yep. 100% neck brace, all that. Yep. Jeff, I actually for real broke his ribs once. So we're in a exclusive club of people who have injured Greg Miller. So
right on.
Yeah.
Virtual high five then. Okay.
Yeah. Team Jarrett over here at Giant Bomb. Screw you, Miller.
Mr. Jarrett, you are here because you are one of the stars, if not the star, of WrestleQuest, or releasing on August 22nd. Just want to talk real quick about you. You know, how's it been like working on the game and everything before we get to all these lovely voicemails we've assembled for you?
Dive into the voicemails. I've Swallowing Your Tongue is one of my favorite ones that's coming out. I've kind of done my research. When I do my podcast, I like to do research. So Jan, I appreciate you enlightening me and letting me do some research. So that's a little teaser up front. That's a little TMZ television show. You just got to throw something at the top, and we'll save that to the end. That's okay.
All right, sir. I will. All right. Should we get into the voicemails then?
Oh, I'm kidding. WrestleQuest.
My ribs are broken now.
A lot of already on your show here, but all kidding aside, what a journey it's been, and I know this is the audience that will I guess feel this, but the 2-week delay last week, are y'all guys kind of dialed into that?
Yeah.
One of those things. I was doing media all day. I was smacking Greg Miller around. And at the 11th hour, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And they're like, oh, this happens all the time in the gaming world. This kind of stuff happens. And I'm like, you mean to tell me the problem's fixed before we found out about it and we still got a delay? Oh, our friendly, true 4-letter word lawyers. But no, all good. We're excited. We have hit the finish line next Tuesday. What a journey. Who would have thought old Double J in 2023 would be an executive producer of wrestling for a damn video that stars Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Road Warriors, and on and on and on. So it really is cool. And the reviews and the ratings, I got to ask you guys, how about these reviews and ratings coming out on WrestleQuest? Knocking it out of the park, boys.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we don't expect anything less from anything with the Double J name attached to it, of course.
History making Double J off of last night. I mean, of course.
Of course, right. The winner of the greatest Texas Chainsaw Massacre deathmatch of all time, Double J.
Thank you,
Jeff,
Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Jeff, in 1993, I'm 9 years old in Kansas, and my mom doesn't know anything about wrestling, but she loves country music. I start seeing vignettes about the biggest country music star in the world is coming to the WWF. And I tell my mom, like, oh, great, this is going to get my mom to watch wrestling. I said, Mom, you love country music. Did you hear Jeff Jarrett? He's coming to wrestling? And she goes, who's Jeff Jarrett? And I said, only the biggest country music star in the world. How do you not know him? I saw him, the vignettes. He's on the cover of magazines. He's got a music video out. And my mom's like, I've never heard of Jeff Jarrett. I was like, I thought you liked country music, Mom.
Wow.
I bought it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad you dogged her, I'm sure, and let her know, Mom, you just are not dialed in. You're listening to that country and swing kind of music.
That's right.
Not the good stuff. Not the good stuff. Dan, I'm sorry to say that your mom was a fake fan.
Yeah.
I think she was.
Okay. All right. At least we can all come to terms with that.
Like,
Oh, man. Mr. Jarrett, we want to give you the honors of choosing the very first voicemail. The voicemail number for folks to call in later after the fact is 707 exit flu. But Mr. Jarrett, you are at the helm of the truck.
Let's just kick it off Double J style, and let's have a good time with this. And let's just go right out with Jeff Jarrett's blessing.
All right.
Hey, this is Dan from Kansas. I had a question for Jeff Jarrett. So at work, me and my friends like to say, wrestling terms like shoot and work because it's kind of a fun way to describe normal things. But none of us are wrestlers. So I was just wondering, is it possible that we could get Jeff Jarrett's blessing to keep using those terms, or should we stop doing that? Thanks, Jeff.
Dan from Kansas. Is that what we just heard?
Yeah.
It must be one of
Yeah.
our fans. Yeah, one of our fans called in and left a voicemail. Yeah.
What a coincidence, Dan.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences in life, Jan, only convergences.
Oh,
Philosophical
I like
tidbit
this.
So I'm just kind of supposed to analyze that, answer that as if I'm calling him back, or just give my two cents?
Yeah.
Just give me
Yeah,
a
go
chance.
right at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, this is almost like an open conversation, but you guys are dialed in. But years ago, back when little Dan was in Kansas bitching at his mom about country music, I can't really say wrestling was pop culture. It wasn't there. We were in and out. Yes, the golden era of professional wrestling, that WrestleQuest, and I'm going to work that into just about every voicemail, pal.
Please.
Always a pro.
Yeah, anyway, but we weren't, and I say the industry wasn't quite in pop culture full time. Now with, every championship team that wins something, they get a belt. Logan Paul, Bad Bunny, Mike Tyson, Shaq, and we could go down the list of who's who. But wrestling is everywhere. We're going to put 80,000 fans plus in Wembley in a week or so.
Hell
But
yeah.
no, the common speak of wrestling. And look, I definitely don't want to get into this subject today, but politics. Politics without question they don't just kind of dabble. They are professional wrestling, just without a squared circle and high spots. They do the promos. They're back and forth. They're both sides, and all 7 sides are lying their ass off. So, but no, I'm going to go ahead and give my man Dan out in Kansas a complete blessing, because A, nothing is sacred anymore. Everybody uses everybody's finishes. B, it is, even Carney Talk is had raps about it and all that. So I think it's a lot of fun. And I'll just finish this voicemail up with, so why don't all of y'all choke on that, slap nuts?
Hey.
Oh,
And that's a shoot.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Dan, you've got a blessing to do that forever at your place of work and your coworkers.
That was stiff. Mike, that was stiff.
Sorry. That's, I got that strong style, right? I can't hold back.
We just got to work wrestling all through this whole show today.
Well,
Yeah.
a little.
Despite primarily being a video game.
Hey, is ribbon a wrestling term, or is that kind of a general? That's the thing that I so sometimes I go, God, did they understand what I just said, or is that common knowledge? But most of the time, even, Karen will look at me and go, not everything's wrestling, honey, but yes, we understood exactly what you meant. It doesn't have to be connected to
The
wrestling.
one that's the most useful to me that people don't understand if they don't follow wrestling is like, oh yeah, I put you over, or like, oh yeah, I put over this game on the podcast, or yeah, let's put that over hard. Like that's very strictly a wrestling thing, but I find it a very useful phrase.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's keep it moving, Jan. Just come on.
All right. I'm slacking. My clock's broken here. Actually, Mike Minotti, please pick the next voicemail.
Oh, are the hands on the clock moving too slow? My next one will be sings like an angel.
Hey, dump truck. This is Jeff from Ohio, and I'm just a huge fan of Jeff Jarrett. I just want him to get a kick out of the beautiful voice of Slapnuts Mike Minotti, who just sings like an angel, and hopefully he can show that off. Mike, can you go ahead and sing "With My Baby Tonight" by Mr. Jeff Jarrett? Thanks.
I just did.
You didn't sing. You didn't sing.
I didn't hear anything, Mike.
Oh God. Oh God, this is embarrassing to do in front of the man himself for sure. God. Well, now I'm having stage fright. I'm going to have to improvise here. I look at my girl and she's real pretty. If you disagree, you'll go to Slapnut City. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
2023 version?
Yeah, there we go. See, a little update. You always got to reinvent, right? Right, Double J? You can't just be stagnant forever. Got to bring something new to the table.
Mashup, right, Eminem?
Yeah, exactly. That was my source of inspiration for that, for sure.
Beautiful, Mike.
Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you.
Dan, please pick the next voicemail.
Let's go with folded slice of pizza.
Now, Mr. Jarrett, we get a bunch of, despite being a video game podcast, we get a bunch of weird food-related voicemails all the time.
I love
folks,
that.
what about a hot dog, but the bun is a folded slice of pizza?
Ooh.
Which one would you put the toppings on, the dog or the pizza? See ya.
Well, pizza has to have toppings. Like hot dogs, you can eat plain. Like a pizza, you're never just eating like the crust. You're at least getting the cheese.
Well, a plain pizza would be a pizza with just cheese and sauce still. That's a plain pizza is not just bread.
Mr. Jarrett, where do you land on this? Does this feel blasphemous to put a hot dog on a pizza or use a pizza as a bun apparatus?
I had no idea what I was getting myself into today. So, technically, if the hot dog is on top of the pizza, it's like already a topping.
Yeah.
Just a real crappy pizza maker. They didn't dice the hot dog up. So I think you got to go with the toppings are going on the pizza. Like a meat lovers, you probably need to get, a few other meats added to it, not just the processed pig guts hot dog.
Yeah. I mean, the hot dog's not that far removed from pepperoni when you think about it, right?
Same family, right?
Just sausages.
All processed.
Yeah.
Same animal? It's the same animal, right?
It depends on the kind of hot dog you're getting. Maybe different parts of the animal. But yeah, pigs are probably involved in both of those, I imagine.
Okay.
Mr. Jarrett, would you still put ketchup or mustard on a hot dog pizza?
I wish Karen was listening right now. Absolutely not. I mean, you guys really know how to screw up two pieces of junk food, a hot dog and a piece of pizza.
I mean, peanut butter and jelly, it makes it a better situation. This is similar. It's two good things.
Like chocolate and peanut butter.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yes.
It was. Yeah.
All right.
Remember that commercial? You are too young for that. No,
we know that commercial. It's pop culture reference. You got your chocolate and my peanut butter. Yeah.
Got my peanut and my chocolate.
Yeah, we know. We're men of culture here, Double J. Don't worry. We're with you.
All right. I will choose the next voicemail. Let's see. 7 consecutive days.
Hey, Bomb friends. Would you rather for you? For 7 consecutive days, would you rather have to go to sleep using Grub's get fucking shredded and take a cold shower before bed method, or wake up using Dan Reichert's tried and true taser alarm clock method?
Oh.
Thanks. Love you.
I feel like some context will be.
Yeah. We better fill Mr. Jarrett in on this.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Dan. Tell him what you did to wake yourself up in college. You absolute crazy person.
I did not know that was. I don't listen to the voicemails ahead of time. That's Jan's job, so I didn't expect to explain this to Jeff Jarrett. But Jeff, in college, I was always bad at getting out of bed. I would always be, lethargic or hungover or any combination of things. And I thought, wouldn't it just wake your brain and body up if I bought a stun gun, like a taser, on eBay, and I would wake up and I'd be all groggy and I'd reach over and it was on my nightstand and I'd just give myself like a little zap, like a little, so I would tase myself to wake myself up better. And it worked, but it was deeply unpleasant.
It's a lot to take in.
On my father's side of the family, it's all professional wrestling and entertainment business. On my mother's side of the family, it's all educators. There's a couple of elementary schools named after my mom's family. So, college is considered, ironically, higher education.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a little ironic that our man Dan is at a higher education university, but he's so eager to be higher educated, he has to take a freaking stun gun to wake up. When you say hungover, lethargic, I'm going to say there's a lot of drugs and alcohol involved at this higher education to even there's a number of movies we could probably but the Tommy Boy scene where he's finishing college and he's headed off and he takes a face bump into the table. That Dan, when you mean to tell me a stun gun was your wake? My gosh.
Yeah, I see it as moxie. I see it as I was eager to get up and attack the day. I didn't want to, I saw it as I was being ambitious.
Oh, no. A guy that might not be at a university or college might have that mindset, but one who supposed to be using the brain to continue his education. So what are the two options, Jan?
So the two options were Dan's method of waking yourself up or taking a very cold shower to go to sleep.
The choice?
Yeah, I was going to say, wow.
Mr. Jarrett, you don't have to answer questions that you feel are beneath you, sir.
A cold shower, that's healthy, invigorating, and probably lowers your body temperature, which is gets your brain into REM sleep quicker. So, wow, bless your heart, Dan.
For the record, I would never tase myself in a shower because that would be reckless. That'd be too dangerous.
Hey, that's completely out of bounds.
Right. That'd be foolish, I would say.
But silly.
Yep. Okay, we're on the same page.
Might be a good maneuver for your next Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, though. You could electrocute a person. That would get him good.
That'll work.
Or may I suggest, Mr. Jarrett, if it's about to be a 3 count, have someone taser you to jolt yourself up.
Now, there have been some stun guns used in professional wrestling, so we might not want to venture down that road, but because I'm coming off such a high last night of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, historic, first ever. So
I hope you all appreciate my restraint, not mentioning the wrestling move that was called a stun gun. And by the way, I'm really trying to hold back my markness right now.
Mike, please,
brother.
Not today.
I held back on the stun gun ending Goldberg's streak too. So we're both being bigger men right now. So,
there we go.
Yes,
we're pros.
All right, Mr. Jarrett, the choice is back in front of you, sir.
Okay. Heaviest band.
Heaviest band.
Yo, what up, dumpies? I'm just off after a 10-hour shift. I'm sitting down, having a draw, playing some Ace Combat 7, and I'm looking through the new technical death metal playlist on my Spotify, and I gotta ask you, what is the heaviest fucking band you listen to? Thanks. Bye.
I thought they meant literally, like weight-wise.
Why would you think that?
We could go both, Dan.
Why would you think that?
I thought the heaviest. That's what I thought.
Oh God,
Mr. Jarrett, what is in the playlist to get yourself psyched up before a match or cooling down after a match?
The heaviest right off, my man. He's a local Nashville brother. My man Jelly Roll.
Oh, Jelly Roll. I got to look this up.
Jelly Roll, it was he's packing some pounds, but my God, he's got a lot of talent in that body. So I'm going Jelly Roll is the heaviest, and he's big enough. He is a band. He's just not a one man solo act. He is a band, but no, Jelly Roll.
I'd be disappointed if a musician named Jelly Roll wasn't a big person. That'd be false advertising. So
I'm gonna go with like the London Philharmonic Orchestra.
Let me ask you: do any of the three of you guys know who Jelly Roll is?
No, but no. I'm about to learn.
There was a restaurant in Walt Disney World that was called Jelly Rolls, but I don't think it was related.
Mike, we talked about this before we went on. You can't talk about Disney World today.
Do you like Walt Disney World, Mr. Jarrett?
I'm a Universal Studios guy.
Oh, okay, that's respectable. That's all right. Well, oh gosh, you were there,
of course.
All the time, actually. Yeah, I saw a taping. I was in the Impact Zone back in the day myself once. That was a fun experience.
Okay.
Halcyon days.
Oh, right. Okay. Heaviest band, Jelly Roll. I'm going to have to work Jelly Roll into the equation.
Work it in. Work it in.
I will, sir. Mike,
get our shit in. Oh, yes. No, I see one that I am not doing. How about barbecue tips?
All right. Let's listen to this.
Hey, Dumpers. It's Joey in San Francisco here. I just bought myself a new grill today. I'm pretty excited about it. I was just wanted to ask you guys, do you have any barbecuing hacks, tips, tricks, favorite things to grill? We'd love to hear from you. Love the show. Thanks. Love you. Bye.
Man, I really need more info. I need to know what kind of grill this person has, right? If it's charcoal, if it's propane, if it's I use a pellet smoker quite a lot these days. That's fun. Although you can't do like high heat fast cooking, so I still have a little charcoal grill for that. I don't know, Mr. Jarrett, do you like to grill? What is your favorite method for cooking outdoors?
Oh, real quick, can you guys let me know how do they address you guys at the top of these voicemails?
Dumpers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, I'm a RecTech guy, sponsor of My World. Drops every Tuesday morning, the new episode. But RecTech is a very proud sponsor. And, I have cooked with, I can probably say it on there, it's not my pod, but I've got a I call it a hibachi, but a big griddle, and then I've got RecTech. And that RecTech, it is so right up my alley, dummy proof. You just turn it on, hit the temperature, walk away from it for 10 minutes, come back. Perfect temperature. I'm a RecTech guy. So a barbecue tip is patience, and more patience. Cook it slow, my man. Do not get in a rush. There is no upside, in my opinion. I often get frustrated at folks that, start grilling when you arrive at the house and they're going to just, whatever it is, rush right through it. I'm like, guys, look, let's put a little time into this cooking situation. So patience is a virtue in cooking.
Fantastic.
Right. The other thing here, the rest is almost just as important as the cook. You really got to let that thing come down to temperature, especially if it's a big piece of meat. Like I did a brisket last weekend, right? So, it took 14 hours to cook. Then you had to give it like 5 hours in the cooler to really come down to a good temp, let those juices redistribute and all that stuff. So, the best tip is just whatever you want to cook. There's so many helpful YouTube videos, whatever out there. Like, go and learn, go and watch, go have fun.
There you go. That is a real pro tip. YouTube is your friend in grilling for sure.
Dan, have you ever grilled anything?
No, so I am afraid of grills because like the propane involved seems crazy and dangerous to me. And so like I've got a gas line on my deck and they were selling it to me as like, oh, that's a really cool thing. There's a straight gas line going to your deck for a grill. And I'm like, I'm not putting a grill on my deck because I play a lot of video games and whenever there's gas and propane, it explodes and houses are expensive. And I just don't want to screw with that at all. So I don't mess with that. So my only tip for grilling is someone else do the scary stuff, but I'll come in there to the raw meat with a handful of like Cool Ranch Doritos or Cheez-Its, and I crush them up and I grab a bunch of the meat and I like grind all the chip and cracker dust into the meat. Then I hand it to an adult and they make it for me.
Mike, I just want to make sure you're hearing what I'm hearing. Propane.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I try not to be a snob about it. Propane is like the last one I want to go to. I want to use charcoal. I want to use pellets, or someday I want to get one of those like real big boy like barbecue pits where you're using like chunks of wood, even though it's probably just unnecessary work at that point. But man,
with the big green egg, the real charcoal chunks.
Yeah, we actually. So when my brother got married, our wedding gift for him was a big green egg. So I'm very familiar with that.
Okay, Dan, I'm going to challenge you, pal. They have mini green eggs. They're really small that fit on back, like just like you're talking about your apartment balcony. It's super small. You can cook 2, maybe 3 steaks on there, but it's easy to heat up. No propane, no butane, no explosions. You will survive.
If you have to give a percent chance to an explosion, what percent chance is this green egg going to explode?
0.
Even if I screw it up as bad as I possibly can.
Guess what? There's no gas involved. There's no lighter fluid involved.
How's it heating it up?
It's burning small chunks of wood. That's how you get it. It's kind of a new revolutionary thing. You're kind of, it's, I'm going to throw something on you, Dan. Did you know fire was around before, when was electricity invented?
Oh, about 120 years ago, right? Electricity.
The kite and the key and Ben Franklin and all that. So
well, that's him discovering electricity. We weren't really utilizing
lightning existed before Ben Franklin, but yeah.
Yes, that's true. But fire goes way back then. That's caveman
of course,
stuff.
Yes,
and they were cooking.
I've seen movies. Yes,
well,
absolutely.
When cavemen were cooking over fire, I think they experienced 0 explosions.
There you go. Mike.
Were you there? You don't know that.
Now get kind of the temperature of the room, reading the personalities.
Me and Double J, we get along, man. We're like 2 peas in a slap nut pod.
As they say, paint chips as a kid, young kid out in Kansas. What was
right? That was that was, the food pyramid in Kansas was mostly paint chips. Yeah.
What went wrong? Stun explosions with God Almighty.
You'd have to talk to my dad about that.
A lot went wrong. But hey, you know what? The good tip, like if you want to get a grill and you're confused by all of it, get a good charcoal grill to start with, because you can do pretty much anything with that. You can even set up a charcoal grill to be a smoker if you use some wood chips and you just kind of have your direct zone, your indirect zone. You can get big, with these little green eggs. Sounds fantastic. There's a lot of even cheap ones you can get too if you're a little anxious about getting into that. In fact, I would recommend people get a charcoal grill, even a cheap one, over an expensive gas grill, anything like that.
And can I interject a little question here?
Sure. Please.
We've talked about universities, grills, barbecue tips, heaviest band, getting my blessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this a video game? Like, cameras in my house. Is this like the updated version of Candid Camera? Like, this is a joke. Hey, Jeff, we want WrestleQuest, but it's this. Come on, you guys are. Hey, this is a rib.
Yeah, Alan Funt is about to come on the Zoom call here. Yeah,
it's a site about video games. Mr. Jarrett, what's your favorite video game? You're not allowed to say WrestleQuest.
AEW Fight Forever.
Amen. There we go.
There we go.
I like it. Always a pro. Always selling. I love it.
Swallowing your no, we're not there yet. Paper towels. Wait, am I up or is Dan up?
You know what? We'll skip Dan. Mr. Jarrett, back to you, sir.
Well, Dan's very entertaining.
Thank you, Jeff.
is. Yes, he is.
All right, Dan, your pick then, sir.
How about rate his pack impression?
No.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to make a request. If Mike Minai is on, I want JJ, Double Jeff, to rate his pack impression. All right, that's it. Thank you.
So our own Mike Minotti does a very nuanced imitation of Pac, the wrestler.
No, wait. Listen. Okay, so we were playing AEW Fight Forever because we're good little marks, and Pac shows up, and they wanted me to do voices for all of the characters. I was reading the dialogue, so I do my best to sound like Pac, right? And I, look, I'm not a ventriloquist. I'm not a voice.
That's not what ventriloquists are.
Well, I do my best, but
there's no puppet involved.
All right.
No linguist.
No. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Here, I'll set you up. All right. I'm Orange Cassidy, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Sorry, I think I stepped on Jeff there.
Yeah, Dan, you've done it the whole show so far, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, the mic's not coming in all the time.
Hey, but set up Pac like where he's from. I mean, I think you have to and there's a lot of probably people watching this show or listening to this show later they have no idea what you're about to attempt to impersonate.
Where exactly is he from? From England now?
Wait, no.
Is England even right?
It's a Geordie accent.
Geordie. Okay. Let me just jump.
The whole dialect deal come out of left field.
Like Geordie LaForge?
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's just Michael, is it? Oh, there's a slap nuts now. What you got? Oh, this is Pac, a death triangle in it. Oh, just a voicemail death truck with Dirt Jerry in it. A Dirt Jerry with Leatherface in it. Death triangle. That's it.
Mr. Jarrett? Yeah, not bad?
Not bad! So there we go. Please do not ever tell your coworker about this. I don't want anyone coming for me.
I will see him soon. I'm telling him.
I think you could take him, Mike. You could take him.
I don't think I can. This might shock everybody here, including Mr. Jarrett. I have been in 0 fights, so I think he would have a major advantage over me. Look at me. I have a mini Arby's behind me. Do you think I can fight anybody?
You have a mini what behind you?
Arby's. Do you like Arby's, Mr. Jarrett? The fast food chain?
Sandwich?
Yeah, the roast beef place.
See, it is one of my all-time favorites.
Me and you, Double J. Me and you, buddy.
Half pound, fixed like a super.
Oh yeah.
Red lettuce and tomato.
I asked without the lettuce and tomato, but that's a me thing because I'm a all beef all the time kind of boy.
Gotcha. I hear you. Wow. Arby's. I thought like
Arby's.
Yeah.
All right.
Where do you live? Right. Where are you at?
I'm actually in Ohio, and I'm actually in right by the town where Arby's started. It's a historic tradition here. Youngstown, Ohio is about where I am.
Wait, is that where Arby's got started? Youngstown?
Got started in Borman, Ohio, which is a suburb of Youngstown. So yeah, very historic.
I had no idea. I didn't know the history. Wow. How about that? Okay.
In fact, I just drove by the original building. It's not an Arby's anymore. It just got turned into a headstone place. So that's an exciting development.
That's some useless knowledge you shared with us. So,
okay. No, there's no such thing as useless knowledge, Mr. Jarrett. There's only knowledge.
Being woke up by a stun gun is right up there at the top of useless knowledge.
That's fair.
Don't knock it till you try it.
All right, this may be our last go around the wheel here, Mr. Jarrett. You're back up in front.
Have we finished with this strong swallowing your tongue?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Hey, so I just found out that swallowing your tongue is like a myth. What, like, dumbass thing did you think for a long time? I don't know. I'm tired. Good night.
Bet we could swallow our tongues right now if we all tried really hard. Dan, try to swallow your tongue.
No, I refuse to.
Well, you just said you can't do it. It's impossible. What are you afraid of?
I'm not going to try. I'm not going to trust this random guy.
Oh my God, what a coward.
Is he probably our caller is tired and you know they talk about folks that have seizures. Mike, this is a very serious. I knew this. This is like a very serious medical voicemail, and this guy is yearning for some knowledge.
You're right.
Swallowing your tongue, is it a medical myth or is it not? Jan, any good driver of a show that has Google right in front of them, could Google, is swallowing your tongue a medical myth? Get Dan all over.
I'm on it.
All right,
it is not possible to swallow the tongue. Bodily tissue firmly connects the tongue to the mouth, which prevents people from accidentally swallowing it. It is a common myth that they can swallow it during a seizure while asleep or if unconscious.
I'm glad we figured that out.
I feel better.
Let me ask you, since you're so quick to that, you know, my Conrad, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Conrad.
Oh, yeah.
In mid-sentence, he's typing stuff that pulls it up, and he can still keep talking and rattle off. So what are the 10 most common myths? Trying to think.
Is warm milk to go to bed? Is there any science to that?
That's probably goes back to the stun gun. Everything circles back to the stun gun today.
I'd say chewing gum stays in your stomach for 5 to 10 years. That's always been a big myth for me, thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh, that you can't go swimming until 30 minutes after you eat something. I think that's a myth, right? There's no reason for that. You can swim whenever.
You know what? I'm really going to enlighten you guys. I get these. I'm sure I don't know if you were going to call these junk emails, but they're these like anyway, kind of fun facts or crazy facts or all this kind of stuff. I just read one recently that pigs, they do sweat. A lot of people say, "Oh, pigs don't sweat," and B, a pig meat does not have any more toxins than beef, red meat. You know, that's a myth because the old myth that maybe here that's in the South. Oh, pork has too much toxins in it. Well, why is that? Because the pigs don't sweat. Well, they do have the ability to sweat, but they're so damn fat. That's why they waller in mud to cool their body temperature. And so anyway, so it is a myth that pigs don't sweat. So Google that, Dan, if you really want some more.
I'm on it.
I have to say that must be a Southern myth because I never heard too much about toxins in pig sweat in Ohio.
I bet you've had your fair share of.
Mr. Jarrett, I've got some bad news for you.
Okay.
Not to be the correct you here, but according to the internet, which is never wrong, the hot days of summer can be a drag, especially for pigs because they do not have functional sweat glands. This means that they feel the heat just like we do, only they can't sweat it off.
Not buying it. I just read here recently in one of my junk emails. It's interesting.
I thought I had actually read recently. There's a whole book or something that came out about humans and how sweating is one of our like super distinctive traits, or at least the way we sweat. There's something very different about human perspiration compared to the rest of the animal kingdom. It's something very special, and it's because humans are, we're built for long distance running. Right? Like we're better at that than anybody. Cheetahs might be faster, but we can really beat them in a marathon. And sweating is an evolutionary trait that is also a part of that.
Mike, are you saying you would beat a cheetah in a marathon?
In a marathon, yeah, not in a race. But the
you
cheetahs
personally would beat a single cheetah in a marathon?
Yeah, I'm a human. Cheetahs get real tired real fast because they run too hard.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Jarrett, we're close to the end of our time with you. I want to give you the honor of picking the very, very last voicemail of the show, sir.
Well, it's not kind of topical because I feel like I've been on this show 7 consecutive days without a break. So, have we done 7 consecutive days?
That
yes.
was the stun gun one. Yeah.
Was it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Okay. Folded slice, all that. Oh, best way to? Have we done that?
No, sir. All right.
Here we go. Best way to fall asleep. Best way to wake up.
Hey, dumpers. It's Seamus from upstate New York, like legitimately near the border. I called earlier, but I thought a much better question for Jeff, which is, I don't remember going to have anyone else ask this question. Like, what's the best way to get blood out of your clothing? You seem like the person who understands this question the best, and it feels weird to ask literally anyone else. I hope you have a wonderful day, and wonderful afternoon. Love you all. Bye.
Funny, they should ask how to get blood out of clothing.
Good timing.
Huh?
It's good timing for that question.
Yes. See how Dan interrupted me again and just walked right into my comment? My gosh.
I know, he's an unprofessional. All right. We'll take care of him. Don't worry.
Mike, being that I was in an historic match last night where blood was involved, both Hollywood version and the real blood platelets out of Double J's head, I can assure you, I did some washing last night. Pro tip number 1, immediately or as soon as possible, get it to the washing machine. If you have to travel or something like that, keep it wet as you can. Actually add water to it if necessary and wrap it up in plastic. Don't let it dry out. And probably run it in back to back and at times 3 times in the washer. And don't even, if you don't have to go through all the spin cycles, but keep doing it and it'll come out. I've got a 37-year history and counting of working with blood on material. So that's a great way to end this extravaganza. I got actually impart my version of completely useless knowledge to the average gamer.
No.
Gamers don't have blood.
No, we run off of Mountain Dew. It's just pure soda in our veins.
But speaking about blood, Mr. Jarrett, a lot of blood has been shed, tears have been shed, sweat has been shed as well, working on WrestleQuest. Sir, one more time, please plug the game.
Well, you know what? Let's go around the horn, the old ESPN show. I would love to hear you guys' comments, and I'm not joking. Mike, have you played it yet? Have you seen it yet? Or are you just con me into getting on this show and you have no interest in WrestleQuest whatsoever?
Oh, I have an interest, sir. I just haven't played it quite yet. There's that delay and everything. But no, I obviously I like my professional wrestling, but I also like my RPGs. I don't know how familiar you are with the Final Fantasy games.
They are go ahead. JRPG.
Japanese role-playing games specifically, right? Just like, how Japanese pro wrestling is a little bit different from American pro wrestling. Japanese role-playing games have a bit of a flair to them. And I'm getting a bit of that vibe there, even though obviously WrestleQuest was not made in Japan. At least I don't believe that it was. But no, I will definitely be checking it out, sir. If least of all because I don't want a guitar to the face.
Please.
The
graphics, you like the graphics?
Oh, I love retro. I love pixelated stuff. I was just playing through Super Metroid the other day from 1994, I believe. So I love that kind of throwback retro pixelated look. That is very much my jam.
Dan?
It has really, really good pixel art, and I'm not a big RPG guy typically, but I am a big wrestling guy, and I've played a couple hours of it, and it's very apparent that the people that made it know what they're talking about, and they are definitely fans of wrestling. A lot of times in popular culture, if they're showing like wrestling, it's always just such a surface level, not really understanding of what the industry is. And from what I have seen and played of WrestleQuest, like there is an obvious love of wrestling going on in that game, and I appreciate that.
Wow, I love those comments. Jan?
Sir, I'm a big proponent of elbow drops in any and every type of media. You said it near the top of the show, sir. Wrestling, I think, is penetrating pop culture yet again. So we need more wrestling video games just like WrestleQuest, releasing August 22nd. It's on the Switch, Xbox, PS5, and I believe Steam as well. Jeff Jarrett, sir, thank you. Double J, sir, thank you for spending your time with us this lovely afternoon. I apologize for being late, but is there anything else that you'd like to plug? Where can folks find you?
I do have one. I'm just going to tell you, this is we're talking into your pop culture. So you guys, because I can tell you guys are dialed into wrestling. Am I running long here, or we got to cut this because it's got to be?
Oh, you're good. You're got time.
You're good.
No,
We're on your schedule,
time,
sir.
Oh, so anyway, I love to talk about WrestleQuest, but you guys are dialed into the wrestling scene as well. So going to these different conventions, signing autographs. About a year ago at StarCast, at Ric Flair's last match, WrestleQuest did an activation. And as a part of that, they brought me I think it was the first, was like 100 8x10s of my pixel art. And then, of course, I had different images of the IC title and just all the stuff through my career. And they said, hey, and of course, Double J being the entrepreneur he is, I said, hey, I'm going to put some of these on the table and just see how they do. They sold out before anything else sold out. So the pixel art's really cool. I say all that to say there's no secret. I'm not the hardcore gamer, but I love my professional wrestling. I got a passion for it, but the game has been really one of our marketing lines. I love letter to professional wrestling of the 80s and the 90s. It truly is that. And when you have a game that has Easter eggs like Conrad Thompson and Dave Meltzer, I mean, guys, how can you go wrong with that?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know
It'll be
Uncle
the
Dave
first
was
game
in
with
it.
Dave Meltzer in it, I would imagine.
Anyway, no, a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys having me on today. The game comes out August 22nd. We are super, super excited. Mega Cat Studios, Skybound Games, old Double J himself. We are super pumped. It's been a long time coming. It's been just like any great classic wrestling match. It's ups and downs. And last week we had the big false finish, and then we had dumbass Greg Miller come in and try to do the screw job. But Double J pulled the strap down, a la Jerry the King Lawler. We've made the huge comeback. Heels are bouncing everywhere. Dan is doing his best. Bobby the Brain Heenan, weasel suit up and over the corner turnbuckle. Mike is coming in, and he's doing his best Grand Wizard impersonation, lousy impersonation of Bob. And Jan, you have been just straight and steady. We're going to give you the Harvey Whippleman Award. And kidding, guys. Seriously, I've had a lot of fun today. Game comes out next Tuesday. I'd love to come back and I'd like to give the topic, but you can't. Do y'all give topics like for next week, like the voicemails? Like how do you, just anything, or do you say, hey, we want a voice? There's no subject matter, right?
So sometimes the voicemails will build off of each other. Like we had a saga of hot dogs, and then a saga of various states hating each other. Okay, Mr. Jarrett, if you'd like to give a prompt for the listeners at home to call in about, I'd love that.
Tomato. What is a good topic? So we're going into football season. The biggest, well, it can be the smallest, but I love to hear these stories. Tell me, if you're 5 years old, the biggest lie you told your parents, or if you're 25, like the most outlandish excuse you ever gave for being out of work, or 35, what's the biggest or smallest lie you've ever told?
I love it.
That's
All
perfect.
Lies podcast. I've never told a lie myself. I'm a good boy, but I'm excited to hear about the deviants. And I have to give chat credit for this, but WrestleQuest isn't a JRPG. It's a double J RPG. How about that?
Love it.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Jarrett. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dan, for joining us today. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Voicemail Dump Truck. I'm so glad we ended the show without any of us getting reamed, slapped in the face with a guitar. But until next time, we'll see you then. Oh, God, that's too loud. Sorry.